The first question might be, what is BoJack Horseman? BoJack Horseman is a Netflix original show about a talking horse. Firstly, when this show came in my Netflix suggestion, I just brushed it off thinking like any other animated show with some adult jokes. But I was shocked by the depth and real life reflection this show actually presented. Firstly, beginning, I was just obsessively hung on what Bojack's character represented and how well he had reasons for being who he is. But then I watched it again because I couldn't move on to any other show, and that's when I noticed all the darkness behind the humors. I started noticing the presence of others' character and how important that was. And I had explanation for the characters I hated in while watching the first time, and I had no defense for the ones I loved, like
I know that I can be selfish and narcissistic and self-destructive, but underneath all that, deep down, I'm a good person and I need you to tell me that I'm good. Diane, tell me, please, Diane, tell me that I'm good.
that is why I wanted to talk about Sarah Lynn. The first time I completed whole 6 seasons, I concluded Sarah Lynn as a first child to fame who had to live up to her mother's expectation without thinking of her dream.
Honey, college is for ugly people who can't tap dance.
I saw her as the sweet innocent girl who had to face the dark side of glamour right after she touched the peak of it. And in the last scene of Sarah Lynn, I was wondering how entirely her path and ending would have been if only she had chosen herself while growing up. That was one of the heartbreaking scenes. And yes, she didn't choose this life for herself, but eventually she started to.
Why don't you touch my prickly muffin? My prickly muffin. Ooh, prickly and it's muffin and it's ready for
And while walking through the path of fame and glory, Sarah Lynn herself actually forgot that she also had that innocence, and she forgot what she was as a child.
That's too much, man. That's too much, man.
And after all that fame and glory vanished, she let herself go down that destructive road. With every visit of Sarah Lynn, we can see that Bojack too jumps with her or makes her relapse back in her old ways. Whenever there would be discussion where people would criticize her, I would swoop right in with a defense. But then while rewatching, I was speechless. When Bojack let her live with him, I really saw her that time, but I also failed to notice how self-aware she was of her actions. She tried to change and improve. Yeah, I used to say the same thing too, like everybody else, but the truth is she never wanted to change in the first place. She only went to rehab because she needed some meaning out of everything after fame. And I don't blame Bojack for what happened to Sarah Lynn near the end.
What is it?
What is what?
You were mumbling about how you had to ask me something.
Oh, never mind. Hey, how long have we known each other? Feels like our entire lives.
Well, my entire life, pretty much.
Sometimes it feels like you're the only one who really understands me, because how could anyone else?
Nobody knows what we went through. Nobody who wasn't on that show.
But we knew each other before we were anybody. And that's how we can be friends, because we're not like those other people. But you and me, we don't want anything from each other. You know, I could never figure out what love meant. But right now, I don't need to figure
But I
out.
blame Bojack for what happened to Sarah Lynn since the set of horsing around.
Can I come?
Yeah, like I want to spend my weekend hanging out with a little girl. Good one. You should write for the Shouts and Murmurs.
A character who was out of control even for herself, the lack of purpose, and that unfulfilled childhood dream which got buried deep as a recurring ache in her heart. That was Sarah Lynn, and even though I might not have any defense for her actions right now, but I love everything about her character. The way her journey ended is painful, and I have made peace with it. It might have been late, but in those last moments, she found the meaning to her life and a diverse future, the one she always saw as a child.
I want to be an architect.
Sweetheart.
I want to be an architect.
Be it horse, cat, human, or even lizard, our lives are but the briefest flashes in a universe that is billions of years old.
See, Sarah Lynn? We're not doomed. In the great grand scheme of things, we're just tiny specks that will one day be forgotten. So it doesn't matter what we did in the past or how we'll be remembered. The only thing that matters is right now. This moment. This one spectacular moment we are sharing together. Right, Sarah Lynn? Sarah Lynn? Sarah Lynn.